Hey there, I'm Ray Jean, and this is Riley, who's probably going to snore halfway through the show. And I hope not, because I really want to talk to you for a minute. I just want to know how you feel about forgiveness. Like, do you forgive other people easily, or are you easily angered, and so it's hard for you to forgive? I'm just asking because it took me a long time to forgive myself for stupid things that I did when I was young. And for years I would beg God, please forgive me, over and over for the same thing I'd already mentioned before. So I was just kind of wondering if anybody else felt that way, because I know that I think it's over 200, I think it says hundreds of scriptures about forgiveness in the Bible. And then if that's the truth, which I Googled that today, then that means that maybe we should forgive ourselves. I think that's the hardest thing to do. We can forgive our friends and our lovers and our parents, but the things that we do when we're young, it's hard to forgive ourselves for because we were just plain dumb. Some of us, I was. I thought I was doing everything right, but looking back, I know I made my mistakes. I wasn't trying to. I was trying to fall in love. I just kind of made some mistakes in my life, and I'm regretting them at my age. And I just wanted to say, it's time to learn to forgive ourselves. It's time to realize that, not necessarily everyone that was running the church and making you feel bad for everything you ever did, maybe they didn't realize that God forgives. He said, forgive yourself. Tells you forgive others like He would forgive you. What's that tell you? That means He forgave you. He forgives you. You know? Love others the way you love yourself. If you're not loving yourself, then you certainly don't want to love others the way you're loving yourself. So, how to love yourself would be the next thing. I think I learned praying for joy and happiness, the spirits of joy, the spirit of happiness, the spirit of love, and the spirit of kindness. I called on all of those. I ejected every negative, anything to do with anger or sadness or depression. And I'm not saying I don't get moments of those, but I don't let them linger anymore. It did no good. It didn't fix anything. It didn't help me to concentrate on the problem better, that's for sure. Sometimes it just made me look really foolish. And then I have to go and apologize for getting so upset. And I'm not saying there's never a reason to get really upset. It's just choosing your battles, right? We're little things, I think. I think of life like a puzzle. And I think when there's a problem, we've just got to figure it out. And you can't figure it out when you're really angry. It's best to figure things out when you're calm. And so I like to calm myself as quickly as possible because that lets me focus on the problem better instead of my behavior and my rush of adrenaline and my throbbing of my heart for I just the hate, the anger that used to. No, I'm just thankful that I'm who I am now, and I'm 60, so yeah, it's taken a long time for me to grow up, but I grew up a long time ago. Especially once I had a really bad car accident, and it took my life away from me. It made me live in a bed for like long time, years and years and years. And I still, I mention it probably each show, but I'm not meaning to. But yeah, I still have problems, but I'm doing much better. I'm able to get out and around a little bit now, and that makes me very happy. Very happy after 20 years in a bed. Well, 17 in the bed and 3 in this chair. I was finally able to get out of the bedroom. But anyway, I'm just saying, if I can find ways to be happy with everything I've been through, and you have no idea, then you can too. But our big problem really is right now the senior citizens, how much they get, the disabled people, how much they get, and how much rent is everywhere anymore. I think the whole world's gone nuts. When you start charging more than people are making for rent, and charging more for insurance for a family of 5 than your rent, we have serious problems of greed in our country. And so many senior citizens now can't afford rent. Um, on a disability, I know that, I mean, if they get one time of the rent going up just a little too much, it's going to be over their check because most people get about $1,000 a month on disability. 1,000. Now most rents are, I mean, I've seen rents for 700. Rent, it was a bedroom, but most of these out here are 12 to $1,500 for a 1 or 2 bedroom. So what are people going to do now? People are living in their cars, in their vans, in tents. They're living in their cars and their vans until those cars and vans are no good anymore, and then they're in tents. Because there's no way to go get an apartment. If their rent got too high that year, like say if mine would have jumped too high this year, things would have been really bad. I was trying to think how I was going to live in a car or a van. I'm not going to lie. I'm really lucky. I got some help with community action for my utilities. I'm really blessed that on that, and the fact that Humana helps. You know, they give you a little money towards your rent and your utilities, which I would have already been out by now if not. I live in a mobile home and my rent's like $1,000 a month, almost. So, with a check being $1,000 a month, how do they think people are supposed to make it? How are they supposed to have money for extras like laundry detergents and soaps and toothpastes and girly things? I don't understand what they think we're supposed to do. I'm grateful for the 1,000. Don't get me wrong. I am so grateful for that. I'm just saying, if I got kicked out of here or I had to leave here, I wouldn't get myself kicked out, but if I had to leave here because they put the rent too high, like the one year the rent jumped $300 2 years ago, but my money went up 75, which is the most they've ever given me. So I'm grateful for that. Again, I'm grateful. It's just if that would have happened and I would have gone somewhere else to find a place, there's nowhere that's going to let me in. They want you to pay 3 times your rent. They want you to make 3 times your rent. If your rent is $1,000 a month, which good luck with that, then they want you to make $3,000 a month. There is nobody that I know on disability that can afford $3,000 in their. They don't make that a month. Sorry, I don't. They don't make that a month. So where are all the senior citizens going to go? With their families? We have a half a generation where their children are all on drugs or struggling to survive with their children, if they can even stay with their children. They've got everybody against everybody right now. Kids against the parents, parents against each other, the government against the people against everyone. It's sad and it's a mess. And I love you all. I don't care who you are. I don't care what color you are. I never did. It was never I was brought up loving everybody in a Pentecostal church. And some of my favorite people in that church were Sister Norma and Sister Sue Howell. Sister Norma Frazier and Sister Sue Howell. I loved those ladies so much. I looked up to them and I respected them, and I loved Sister Sue Howell's kids. Kim and Pam and Lakeisha. Maybe it was Keisha. We always called her Keisha. But no, I love everybody. And for people to think that everybody is racist, that's just stupid. There are people out there that are bad. There are racist people out there. There's racist people against white people, against black people, against Indians, Mexicans. There's people that are just racist against everybody. But there's also people that aren't. There are good people. I've met wonderful black women. I've met wonderful Puerto Rican women. My husband was in the military. I've met Spanish women, Puerto Rican women. Oh my goodness. A woman from Honduras. I've learned like little bits and pieces of 3 types of Spanish from Spain, from Honduras, from Puerto Rico, and from Mexico. 4 different kinds. But little pieces here and there. And they're all very similar. But I love people. I love learning different cultures. The caregiver that I have, and yeah, I have a caregiver. I look okay today. That's why I'm on here. But she's wonderful, and she's from Africa. I think she's awesome. She learns from me, and I learn from her. Why can't we just learn from each other and love each other? We learn a lot from each other, especially good cooking recipes. Love good food, especially good Southern food. And a lot of people think that's soul food for black people. No, it's not. It was for poor people. My grandparents were very poor. And I learned how to eat some of the weeds from the yard. I would visit grandma. We'd be picking berries for dinner, picking berries for make us a pie, and picking the pears for a snack. And she had fruit in the yard. They don't do that anymore, but she had fruit all over the yard. Anyway, the berries and the pears were just a couple of the things, but there was, I think, 2 different kinds of those berries. Anyway, she taught us how to pick, I believe it was the plantain and the dandelions out of the yard. And one she made a salad with, and one she mixed some vinegar with and made like greens with it. And she knew how to survive. I mean, that family, that generation, her family of farmers, they knew how to survive. Right now, today, I don't think anybody would know what they could eat out of their yard, and you can't eat anything out of your yard if you've put any kind of chemical on it within a couple years. I learned that once before. Yeah, it doesn't taste good at all. But we have to pick ourselves up, guys. We have to forgive ourselves of the past. We have to ask God to remove the spirits of doubt and sadness and anger, depression, and any other things that come to you. Whatever that spirit might be bugging you, you tell God to remove it. You command it to leave. You have God take it and roll it up in a ball and throw it out into the universe. Billions of years before, where nobody will ever, it won't have any contact with anybody. That's what I do. And I tell you what, to me, whether it really happens or it don't, I feel that it does. Therefore, I feel better. And I don't feel picked on anymore for a while. But these spirits know how to make you remember everything you ever did wrong, especially when you're on the right path. Because that's when it started happening. When I decided to do this. When I decided to do other things that were kind. When I decided to live my life the right way instead of my way. And that's another thing. I know I've given my life to Christ again and again in my life. I mean, I see it on TV. I'll do the sinner's prayer again, and I ask him to forgive me all the time for the things I did wrong. But I don't know. Talking to you, even if it's only going to be 2 people or 10 people or 30 people, would be great. I'd like it if you could share if you like any of this or think it would help anyone. But I don't get to do this often. Again, my health isn't great. But I just want, whenever I have something to say, I really want to say it. I want to say you're loved more than you know. I love you. You have people, I'm sure, who love you. I mean, there's somebody that died a few doors down. I never met a day in my life. But it broke my heart when he passed away. I still knew of him. He didn't know I knew anything. I knew he was there. I knew he was unwell. But, You never know what somebody's going through just a couple doors down. Be kind to your neighbors. Love each other. Help each other. I think that's why we're here, is to be there to help each other. We're not here for the next boyfriend or girlfriend. We're not. I know it feels really bad to be all alone. I get it. I do. And it's almost incredibly impossible to be alone. It really is. Those that are alone and able to take care of yourselves all by yourself, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. And those that can't, I pray for you, because I know I'm in a similar boat. I'm like them jacking my rent one more time too high, and Social Security not going up high enough, and I don't know where I'll be. Maybe somebody I love and care about, would help me out, and I could pay some rent somewhere else. I don't know, but if not, I'm going to be selling my car and getting a van. That van life doesn't look easy, though. Looks fun. I want to go travel and see the world, but I certainly don't want to be out there in the cold and in the heat. Not with some of the things that, no. I certainly don't want to be a single woman out there by myself. I wish the government would get it together, and if anybody from the government ever sees this, please help. What are we supposed to do? If the rent is higher than our income, what are we supposed to do? Move in with family? Those same family that, praise God, my kids aren't on drugs. One of them's dead from it. Oh, not from the drugs that almost killed him 2 weeks before, or two days before. Sorry. No, that was from the drug dealer. No, my kids are all good kids. I have 3 that are still alive, and they're great kids. Wonderful. I love them so much. But they got their own things to take care of, and they got their own expenses they're struggling with. And I think the last thing they're going to want is their mom living with them. So what does the government think? We're not in the generation that we came from. That's what you do. They're a different generation. Totally different. So if you ever see the elderly on a street corner, somebody older that they look like they're in pain, a disabled person, don't overlook them. If you got a couple bucks in your pocket and you can spare it, help somebody out. It's a sad world out there right now. And we can only get so much help from the government. They're too busy giving all the money away. Other countries, other people coming from other countries. And I think we're all getting neglected. And I compare it to, all right, let's say I have my 4 children, and I say, hey, kids, I'm going to move in 100 more people. Now, you might not get much anymore. I know you didn't get much to begin with, but you might not get that much, not even close. But we're going to help all these people, and it's going to feel good to do so. They're going to get free college. You're not. No, you can't have free college, no. But they can have free college. Housing, that housing list you were on for 3 years? I know you can't get in there. It's because like 20 million people came in, and, they need homes. You have one that you can't afford, but they need it. You can wait because you're still in that place until they throw you out into a car. And then maybe they'll get you in there faster if you're close enough on the waiting list. Yeah, 3 years I've been on there. I'm probably on my 4th year now, actually. But, at least we have that housing. We're very blessed to have that housing. Honestly, we are. I just think that it would come in handy if maybe we could get it before we're homeless. But, it is what it is. But take care of those that you see out there that are homeless. They're not all drug addicts. And some of them are drug addicts just because, they're out there on the streets, they're homeless, and they find little safe houses that they can stay at. And unfortunately, there's drugs there. So then those people get on those drugs, and they can't get off those drugs. They want to. They try to. And then they try to off themselves because they can't handle the fact of who they've become. Let's not make them feel like they need to do that. Let's make everybody feel loved, guys. Let's not be prejudiced against people that need help. If you feel it's the wrong person, don't you dare stop. You see some little old lady or some little old man and they're acting like they're half crippled and you drive by them and you don't help them, what are you going to do when you need something? Do you think God's going to send somebody your way when you were never there for anybody else? Really? If he does, he's awful mighty and awesome and merciful and forgiving and kind. And oh, that's right, he is. So he probably would send somebody your way. But you might not deserve it. But then again, we don't deserve the love from God. He just gives it. The forgiveness, the kindness, the mercy, the grace. I can't help but praise his name every day of my life. And I can't help but try to help anybody that I can with either words of advice or clothing. If there's something I have and somebody else needs it, I'm honestly there to try to do those things because it would hurt me not to. I hope it hurts you not to also. I do. Even if you want to and you can't, at least you have that kindness in your heart that you want to. So many people nowadays, they're just out for themselves. And I get that too. And even God says, there'll be a time to give. And then there'll be a time when you need to hold on to what you have. So I'm not saying give everything you have or give the last of what you have if you're poor. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying if you have a couple of extra dollars and you see somebody, or what's really kind also, I just felt in my heart one day to make a snack bag up. And I thought if I don't eat it, I'll just give it to somebody who needs it. But I just felt like I should bring it with me one day. And I just had a little bag of muffins and a little thing of fruit. And I had a little frozen sandwich that was in my freezer, a sub. And I don't know. I just thought I should bring that, And I came across an old man on the side of the corner. I was getting ready to turn on a left on, and he was right in a median in between. And I said, "Sir, are you hungry?" And I didn't even see his sign until after I said that. And then I saw his sign, and it said he was hungry. And he says, "Yes, ma'am, I am." And I gave him that bag. And I pulled away, but I looked in my rear view mirror to see him. And he was peeking in that bag. He closed the bag. He went, he was thanking God. God's seed is out there. He wasn't a drug addict. He's an old man. An old man I've seen out there before. And when I seen him this time, I thought, yeah, I'll help him. He's an old man. He's deserving. But, people do get hungry. So if you don't feel good about giving money, it doesn't hurt to stop and grab somebody a cheeseburger or make some peanut butter sandwiches. Or if frequently there's somebody where you're going to be going on your path. I don't know, just saying. I'm not going to keep you much longer, but I really do hope you will like and share this. I know I skip around from subject to subject. I'm a little ADHD or hyper. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not. But I try to get a lot out in a lot of time, and sometimes I do talk a little fast. But yeah, I have a lot to say and a little time to say it in. I really have a lot to say, so I hope you'll come back and see some of my other shows, because I really believe that I can help a lot of people with some of the things that I know, see, hear. I really believe I'm a help to people, a counsel to people at times since I was young, working in a bar. That kind of becomes your job when you're working at a bar, is to be a counselor. But then I got the minister's license years and years later, 8 years ago. So I do have a lot of knowledge about religions, not religion. But that's another episode. So I hope you'll come back and see me. I'm looking up at the time here and there if you're wondering what I'm looking at. I'm trying to keep this about 30 minutes, so I'm getting right about there. I hope you'll have a good night, good day, good morning, whatever it is. Make the best of your life. Don't wait until you're dead to live. I heard that on a show once. Don't wait until you're dead to want to live. That's it. Don't wait until you're dead to want to live. Live now, however you can. If you're disabled in a chair, find a way to help people doing this if you can on your good days. Even if you don't get paid, that's not the purpose. I'm not getting paid. I've been putting YouTube videos up for years. I just can't do it constantly enough because of my health, but I do it anyway because I love you guys and I want to help you as much as possible. Have a good day. Have a good week. Have a good month. I hope you come back and see me again soon. Love you. Bye.